Now we will learn how to do scripting or programming in MATLAB or Octave. This is the 5th chapter in the MATLAB primer from MathWorks. So let's try it. Okay, first let's generate a random number. Now this A is 93. We can use if to determine whether the number is small or else if this number is somewhat medium. Or this number is large. And now if you want to put this inside a function, you can try to edit it and classify number .m. Okay. And this is y and this is the number. Okay. So this function would be if a is more than 30, that's a strange tab, but okay. And end. This is a very weird indentation style. I don't know why they're doing like this. Okay, and then you can save this, and we can run this function using our number. Sorry, this should be n. Okay, this is large. Let's try with another number. Let's say this is 3, and we can classify that, or we can just do this. Let's try doing this against a vector. Well, that doesn't work as I want it to be. Okay, so I guess it's just gives the, maybe let's try this one. Okay, so it's treated as sorry, how to display string and number at once. Okay, so we used to num to str. There's the strange indentation again. Okay. Well, it's a large number, I guess. How about 4 or 5? That's small. So I think it's only the last number that's being wait. Okay, but the conclusion is that you can use if to do some logic in your MATLAB or Octave program. About this editor, in theory I should be able to change this, but it's not working and I don't know why, so I'm stuck with Emacs for the time being. I'll try to use Kate instead to write my other function. Now we can also use switch. Okay. Name and gender. So now we talk about end there. Still better to have that. Now if gender is equal to M or male, okay, then maybe not. Oh, I want to switch gender, and then in case that's male, then can display hello Mr. Name, and in case that's female, you can display hello Miss Name. And otherwise, can just display just the name. Okay, now let's try this function. Back in Octave, and let's greet Andy. And you can also try to greet, say, ID is female. Okay, and you can try greeting something like stars, and it's just stars. Now MATLAB and Octave also have helper functions such as, let's try I. Okay, and then let's try comparing this where I is equal to I. Now this does not give equality, but it gives a matrix where they are equal. Maybe let's try I is equal to major of, okay, I can't do that, so I'll try round 2, and it's not the same. So actually, if you want to compare two matrices or any two variables, what we need to do is to use is equal. Okay, this will give an answer. One is true, or 0 is false. So it's different than, say, this one. You can also have a function called isEmpty. This is empty, an empty string, and even a string containing space is not empty. And number 0 is empty. 0.1 is also empty. 1 is empty. 1 and 8 is empty. Okay. So and one of its dimensions is 0. Oh, it means it's not empty. Sorry. So these are all not empty, and the empty matrix would be this. And also there's a function called all. So an all of 1, 2, 3, 4, that's true. And if one of those is 0, then it will return false. And another helper is any. Yeah, so now that then this will be true. And if all of them are 0, then any will return false. But if just one of the elements is non-zero, then any will return true. Okay, and the next is loops. So let's try to make a loop 1 to 10, and then we'll try displaying that. Iteration number n. Okay. Try loop. Then I have to execute this. Okay. So like that. Make the array, and this is an iteration. And of course you can nest loops as much as you want. So let's try O1, maybe from -3 to 2. Then I'm going to display something like and this will also work. Okay. And then of course you can combine if and functions and loops in your program. I will enlarge the font a bit. Okay, so let me open that grid again. Now, if the parameter here we will change, so it's no longer 2 parameter, but we want to use structure of people to greet. So we can for k from 1 to length people, and then we do a switch here. Now we will return. Okay, we can just do this, and then let's create a structure to run this. So this becomes people. Okay, that gender, this people. Okay, that name. So we'll create a structure to hold the data and then create all of them at once. Okay, how to create a structure in MATLAB. Okay. Let's assign this to let's use customers. It's a vector of name is Andy, gender is male, and another structure name is gender is female. Now we can run this function from the customer's structure array, and it creates both Handy and Miss IDs at the same time using the proper gender. Another useful control structure is while, and the way we do this is let's say this input okay, so let's say we are inputting the names and genders of customers from the user. So we'll hold a Boolean variable called still more, and we'll initialize this to 1 or true. And while there's still more, we can input the name of the customer, and then we'll input the gender of the customer, and then we will greet the customer. And after greeting, we will input again. There's still more. Okay, so now and actually what we want to do is we want to test if the more input is equal to y, a small y in this case. And after it's done, we'll just say thank you. And I guess for an added flair, we can count the number of customers. And then we'll display the number of customers here. Okay. Now let's try whether this works. Create input. Okay. The first customer is Andy. Okay. That's not working. Let's try that again. I think I should type it here. Well, I cannot type anything from here. This is weird. Oh, okay. I need to input it using a string. Okay. And there's one more customer. That is IDs. And gender is female. Yeah, okay. That's more. And that will be TARS. It's a robot. Oh, sorry. The second more is wrong. Let me try that again. First is handy, male, and then yes, and then IDs, female, and then yes again, and then charge, robot. This time it's a no or just anything else. Okay, let's enter 3 customers. Okay. So another way to do this is by using the control flow statements such as break. So let me try changing this from still more. I'm not going to use still more again, but I'm going to use 1 or true instead. Now I'm going to use if here. If this is equal to y, and then I'm going to break. Else, then this loop will continue indefinitely. Oh, that's wrong. If this is not equal to y, and then it will break. Otherwise, it will continue. Yeah. If it's not equal to y, then it will break. Else, well, just continue. Let's try this again. So this is just the same program as before, but implemented in a different way. So first I have handy, generates mail, and more yes or no. Okay, yes, and then it loops, and then maybe I'll try something else. Uni, it's female, and it's more. For the robot, maybe let's try maybe Blackie. It generates a dog. Well, dog can be male and female, but okay, just for the sake of illustration, and more. No. Okay. Another control flow is continue. Gonna open a new file. So maybe I'll try to make a function, just not prime, where I don't think I need a return value. So this should be a matrix or a vector. Now what I'm gonna do is that from 1 to length of the vector, now if first of all I want to display that I'm processing this one, okay, but if this value is a prime, then I want to skip it. So just go to the next iteration directly, and if it's not a prime, then I will continue processing by, let's say, displaying the power of this PK. That's not a power of 2, to the power of 2. Is this right in English? Well, I assume you know what this means. Okay. So let's try this. Now I'm gonna make a vector, say u, and this will be from 1 to 10. Let's just put it here, and then I'll run just not prime on u. Now you can see that when it's processing 1, 1 to the power of 2 to the power of 3, and when it's processing 2, it's skipped. Maybe to make it clearer, You can say skipping. Yeah. So when it's in the continue, it will go back to this line, or maybe you can say this line, for the next iteration. So the lines below will not be executed. You can see that when it's processing the prime number, it skips, and on other numbers, it processes normally. And we also have return. So let's say, for example, that I do not want to process any number greater than 5. I'm just gonna say number is too big, and then I'll say return. This will immediately terminate this function and return. Let's try how it goes. So when it goes to processing 6, because it's bigger than 5, it then returns. So it not just return from this and go to the next iteration, but it returns right out of this function. So even if we have a statement here like iteration complete, this will not be executed. Okay. But if we don't have return here, let me comment it, and we run this normally, then this will be executed. And another technique I want to share is how to return values from a function. So let's make it grid free. So instead of displaying this, let's return a string with the contents of the greeting instead. So okay, go back to the simpler version of this. So now instead of doing this, instead of directly displaying, we can just assign this to y, and at the end we return y. Actually, we don't have to do return y because it's the variable used to return. So we can try this. Quickly, let's make it a variable here. Maybe w. Quickly and d. So you can see that this. Okay, should put a semicolon. Let's make it more neat. Let's try that again. So the greeting is not directly displayed, but put into w, just to be sure. So it's put into w, and if you run or display w, and it contains the return value. Now you can also use sprintf to manipulate a string or concatenate a string like this. Okay, this is similar to what other programming languages use. So we can replace this with a sprintf version. This will be quite useful if you have a lot of variables to put in a string. There are numbers and so on and so on. Okay. And that's the same thing. Also, it's possible to run this function not using parentheses, but just using like a command line in Linux operating system. So you can just say grid 3 and email. So if the parameters are strings, then you can just use this shorthand version, just like the way you can do this. And you can say or type title sign function, or alternatively you can just use title. This is a sign function. Oops. Okay, because only the first parameter is a string. You can also, or maybe another example is that why you can use axis on and axis off here. It's because it's just the same as using the parenthesis version. So this is just the same. You can also return multiple return values. So let's make that corn 3D graphics. Now plot, and this is the X and Y, X mesh and Y mesh. M, and let's just put it that the X and Y is the mesh grid from minus X mesh, 5 and X mesh. The Y mesh is from here to Y mesh. And then calculate the R. Plus the epsilon. And calculate the Z. Okay. Just put that semicolon there. And now we can return all of X, Y, and Z. So let's try this. So we put X, Y, and Z, and corn 3D maybe like 4 by 10. Sorry, I guess this should have an array syntax. And then we can plot this. Okay, we have our surf. And go back to, let's try another color map. Rainbow. And shading. Turf. Yay. So I guess that's it for this session. And I think by this time you and I have a good understanding of basic MATLAB and Octave functions and how to edit MATLAB files and create plots, whether they are 2D or 3D, scalar or histogram, and basic statistic functions. So it's very cool, and I'm really happy doing this. See you in our next video.